Greetings once again, fellow book lovers. It's time for the latest edition of Shelf Life Book Reviews Online, where I present to you a book that I've read, reviewed, and recommend. And today's book is Dust, More Lives of the Poets with Guitars by Robertson. This is published by Biblioasis Press. It retails for $18.95 in the United States, $24.95 in Canada, and it is 290 pages long. Ray Robertson has done some very interesting books about musicians, and in this book he looks at the lives of 12 very interesting people. Now, some of them you may not be familiar with. I was not familiar with all of them. Maybe half of them I'd heard of their names, and but I'm sure others who are in the world of loving music would be a lot more familiar with them. The very first one profiled in the book was Alex Chilton, and I thought he sounds like the name of the person who was in the group from the 60s, the Box Tops, and their most famous song of all, The Letter, which was, some say, the best-selling single of 1967. Yes, Alex Chilton was in the Box Tops, and the Box Tops were only together for about 3 years. They had a string of hits after The Letter. There was Neon Rainbows and Sweet Cream Ladies, and they disbanded in 1969 reportedly because they found all their instruments were smashed. So that was it for them. But Alex Chilton did not give up music after that. He was in a group which I had never heard of called Big Star, and I looked online, and Big Star had a succession of albums released. Maybe they're not a household name, but if you Google Big Star and start playing their music, you will find some interesting blend of music. So that was the first person mentioned in the book. Now, other people mentioned in the book was Nico. Now, she was a model, and she played the harmonium, which I'm not familiar with that. But she was a fascinating lady. She hung out with the types of Andy Warhol. And in many ways, she was sort of a little bit on the eccentric side, some said. But she also had problems with drug addiction. And she did clean herself up. And reportedly, life was going very well for her. Until in, I think it was 1984, in Spain, she fell off her bicycle, and she had a brain hemorrhage, and she died not too long after that. So there's a lot of tragedy in this book here. People who've had decent lives, but tragic endings, either through drugs or the hand of fate, you could say. Now, another person mentioned in the book is Duane Allman. As we all know, the Allman Brothers. Now, he and his brother Greg Allman released a lot of very interesting music, as we all know. They were a great band, and Ray Robertson talks about their lives, before the Allman Brothers, with other little bands that they were part of. And tragically, Duane died as a result of a motorcycle accident in 1971. Now, another person mentioned in the book is Danny Curran, and I thought I'd heard of the name somewhere, and he was with the original Fleetwood Mac in 1968. He was a guitarist with them, and he had an interesting life as well. Unfortunately, 4 years later, in 1972, the band sort of kicked him out because he had very serious problems with alcoholism. So, like I said, a lot of people in this book had very tragic endings through, I guess, bad judgment. Now, other people mentioned in the book you will be familiar with, like Muddy Waters, who is a classic performer from the 50s, 60s, and he was definitely a legend. In fact, many people were inspired by his great music. Now, other people in the book were also Captain Beefheart and Nick Drake, and, of course, the Staple Singers, which were another classic gospel group. So if you're looking for a book that's really got a little bit of everything, it's for all types of music, for all types of music lovers, then have a look for Dust, I don't mean dust under the bed, but have a look for dust in your bookstores, because it's a book you really will be quite impressed by. So if you do purchase it, please let me know if you do agree with my review. I kind of think you will. So I appreciate you watching this video review. Hopefully you found it informative, but I'll be back again very soon with another first-rate book. And until that time, as I always say, stay safe, stay sane, stay in touch, and I will see you at the bookstore. Bye for now.